early 80s, late 70s, was caravans and converted horse boxes and campers, all just living the life, the hippie thing, you know? And I was like, this is serious shit. What is this? And then this couple of chicks went past with crocheted bikinis on. And I was like, you know, I want in on this right now. And so I never forget, I just sat on the beach and there was a heat competition. And there was Shane Horan, Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew. And Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew is Australian surf, is the legend. And he came down to the beach in a fur coat, yeah, like a rabbit fur coat,
Okay,
and his wetsuit on, and then two girls, like, you know, like game show girls, and they took his coat off, passed him the surfboard, he kissed them, and he paddled out. And I was like, I want in. This is it. I want in on this. So I was so into it. The surfing, the whole lifestyle, the possibilities in my head, the stories that I was telling myself, where this could go. And so I saved up. I did all odd jobs through the winter, saving up for a surfboard, because there was no surfboards then. There was no surf shapers in England, you know, like there are now. And I remember going down to Cornwall in the summer, pestering my parents to take me back down there so I could go surfing. And I had £80, and I bought this wacky surfboard with a spider on the front, which I've still got, and I could still ride it. And I went out, paddled out, and it was rancid board. This board is classic, and it's like an aircraft carrier. And paddled out, and like, it was freezing in my shorts, no wetsuit.
wow.
And I think about the fourth time I went out, I managed to stand up, and I was like, I'm in. This is it. I'm done. And, you know, from there on in, that opens up so many doors of possibilities of all the people that you meet. I ended up, as time went on, I ended up doing my surf lifeguard qualification. So I became a surf lifeguard down there, purely because I just wanted to be surfing all the time and be in the water. And, you know, and you travel, and, you know, I'd fly to Portugal with my board and catch a train up to the spots where I'd surf in the summer. And because I didn't have a driving license and there was no hot. So I'd just roam down all the surf spots. I'd thumb lifts, I'd get a taxi, I'd get a train, I'd sleep on the beach, I'd surf, eat some food. So, you know what I mean? So it opened these things that you take on in life, like you were asking me earlier, open up doors for you, you know, these different hobbies and interests, I suppose.
What's been I mean, for you, just as you've kind of tried out all of these different hobbies and traveled to different places, and, you know, because you've worked in permaculture and styling, and have explored the worlds of meditation and yoga and surfing and adventuring. And I could imagine, you know, it's not all fun and games along the way.
No.
There's always, in any journey, right? There's like there's the ups and there's the downs. And I'm really curious for you, like, you know, as you've explored all these different things, and as you've built a business and a brand for yourself along the way, like, what have been the most challenging aspects of that ride for you?
Personally, my own things are, it took me a while to realize that some things you can't do on your own. You know, you just can't do those things on your own. Or you can't do those things. So you need to work. This big word that you should always remember is delegate. You should delegate. If you've got an adventure and you know someone who would fit into that adventure, got something to bring, then you delegate. You know what I'm saying? It's like in business. It's like, don't do the accounts. Get an accountant. You know, don't do the graphics. Get a graphic artist, you know? So it's like delegate, do what you do best, and then concentrate on that, and just be honest, honest with yourself. Just be you, just do you, Obviously along the way you have certain things, and I think it's interesting that while you're doing these things, I don't know if this is the right thing, there's certain things that it brings, you're doing those things for yourself, and that's important to remember. And if somebody wants to be involved in what you're doing, show them the way, but don't give them all the soft scented chocolates in the box. You know what I'm saying? Be a little bit more, bit smarter, because I think you've got to keep some back for yourself, because it's precious. These things that you do in your life, whether it's your things, and they're precious things, and they're precious things that sit in a little box, and it's like your favorite music collection. You're not going to lend that to someone. It's like your 3 favorite VHS videos when you was a kid. You ain't going to give those to someone, and it's your favorite sneakers. You're not going to give. It's the same with these tools that you have and these things that keep you going. Give them a little taster, but don't give them all of it, And then just as you've got to think they've sussed you, change it again. You know what I mean? But that's an unconscious thing, I think, for me. I think, because you don't know what the day's going to bring. And like this corona, I mean, 1 minute is the doomsday, next minute everyone's having a jolly good time, FaceTiming each other and learning and doing these things. But then what about when we all have to go back to work? No more sleeping in anymore, There's no more drinking cocktails through a school night. It's going to be tough going back with people, They're not used to that. As it was tough for us to understand it, it's going to be tough getting out of it as well,
Yeah, that's really
interesting. There's going to be a lot of refugees from it,
Refugees,
mentally,
mental refugees.
Mental refugees.
Yeah.
Very much so.
That's a really interesting term, mental refugees. I think right now it seems like people are being kind of forced to look at things in a new light and to kind of face, different aspects of themselves. And it's weird. It's almost like as people are shut up in their homes, it's like the whole question of what is a home even comes into play. It's like,
because that can go like that,
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I think this is interesting. I mean, I'm like, oh man, I've been married twice. I've had 2 homes in my life, 2 incredible homes. I don't have a home now. I'm as nomadic as they come, but I don't I'm like, I do have a home, wherever I am, wherever I am, I've got people in my life, and those people in my life I don't depend on, but I've got places, and I can start my life again, I think last few years, when I got divorced, was showing, because you're in a state when your mind and your whole sense of being is so vulnerable and so scared of what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden you have to breathe and go, yeah, you're good, mate. You've done this before. You can do this again. It's just the circumstance. So again, you have to adapt in that environment. You have to find the things that make you happy and keep you balanced. It's very easy to just when things start going a bit wonky, to start using other things to let's get, it's not a bad thing, but let's get really into smoking weed, and let's get drinking tons, and you know, it's almost like you're pulling. At the moment, it feels like you've pulled a sticky from work. You know, you're like no one's going to work, and you're like called in, and you're like, I'm not coming in, but you're really let's party. So it's like, but that's going to finish, you know? And so I think you've got to. So where I'm going with this is you have to be lucid. You have to stay present, and you have to be aware of yourself. You have to be kind to yourself, very much so, to get through things. And then mentally, I think once this is done, there's going to be people who, you know, they're talking about financially, they're saying, oh yeah, it's the biggest thing since the depression, you know, and all these financial things scaring you. Well, it's like we're lucky we have things in our lives, you know, and you have to be grateful for all those different things. And I think people are realizing that now, you know. This is the wake up time. You can't just go down to the coffee shop and get your mocha latte.
Oat milk, yeah.
You know, you're more aware of it, you know. I think it's interesting. I do like it. I find it it's interesting because the people that I'm in my life who I thought are quite straight, they're starting to break a little bit and bend, and they're into, like, there's a friend of mine and they were like, what'd you do that meditation for then, you know? And I was like, yeah, it's good, you know, it just starts you up. It's like a little kickstart for the day. No, I'm not into that. 3 weeks later, they're on the phone. Yeah, I'm up for that. Can I, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's bring that up because I've on my kind of social platforms, I've been seeing more and more people sharing their hobbies and sharing their unique skills in videos on Instagram, and I feel like people are starting to showcase different sides of themselves.
Their real side.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really interesting point. It's like, what is that, like, what side is the real side? You know, like, is the public facing side and that internal side both real, or I don't know. Or maybe it's just,
I think the real side is the now side, the now business. This is them. Like, I think, you know, we put on such a face, it's so smoke and mirrors, isn't it? You know, because you have to adapt. People like social chameleons, they have to adapt to a scenario, you know, like a work environment. You know, you'll hang with the same crew, they start wearing the same clothes and they do the same things. You know, and so you're not being yourself anymore. You know, it's like you go and work for a company and everyone wears a button down. You know, it's like this is them, you know, this time now is like, this is them. And so I see this whole thing, I think there's going to be a lot more people saying, fuck the system, you know, we're going to go off the grid, you know, we're going to try and go off the grid. Or there's going to be a lot more urban people going to be like, gone into the countryside. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of that. So I think all those people with skills who are like people that can grow vegetables, people that can use tools to make things. I think the people that understand how to tap alternative sources of energy, how to use your body as the Valium for your life. You know, you only need fresh air, and you know how to, you know, use different, like, change your diet, change your mental state. You know, I think there's all these people with skills like that are going to come into, they're going to be a big part of this, you know, because you used to laugh at your friends. What are you doing pottery for? You know, that guy he's going to be like, the leader of the tribe, you know,
Wow.
because he can make cups.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
those things, you know. Listen, if you think about it, and this has not been a prepper, but if you think about it, like if the shit really goes down and there's no, like you go to the shop and there's nothing in the shop like there's been doing, people, okay, what are we going to do? We need to eat, you know. So obviously you're going to start having to inquire about how to grow your own vegetables or forage, you know, or you know, I think there's going to be more communities or commune type things opening up where people are going to be like, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
That's really interesting. It's almost like people are getting back in touch with their humanity, and like the importance of having some sort of skill or some sort of craft or trade. Maybe that's going to be more and more important, or people will place more value in that.
I think storytelling, like what you do with your podcast, you're a storyteller. You know, you sit. And back in the days, that would be the campfire. You would be like the podcast of the time. You know, that is like you're sitting around the fire. People want to listen. So podcasts are very important in people's lives, especially now. And I think community, we find a way. We adapt. You know, we are adaptable as a species. You know, and we've just got to take, I know this sounds really hippie, but you've got to just take your shoes and socks off and feel the ground, you know? You've just got to stop and listen. If there's no money and if there's no banks and all the oil's finished, so what, you know? You know, it's like, we'll find a way. There is a way, you know? And it's like, how long will this go on for until people just like had enough of it? I know, don't trust anyone in a suit, for Christ's sake. You know, like it's all full of lies.
Yeah, man, it's really interesting. Like when we do step back and put things into perspective, it's like if we're alive, if we're breathing,
you're good.
Yeah, we are good. Like essentially, we are good. You know, it's one thing. It's interesting you bring up the city thing, how urban people might be leaving and, you know, seeking out nature and farms and smaller sort of community type things. You know, it's a point that a good friend of mine, he's a city sort of expert demographer, and his big thing for the past 5-10 years has been that people, younger people, older people, more and more are moving away from big city centers and going to smaller towns to kind of feel that sense of connection with other people and with themselves and with the land. And I just wonder, like, what the future, if this is true, right? Like, what will the future of places like New York, in London, in Los Angeles look like? Like, are they?
They'll be dead. They'll be empty.
You think so? Yeah. Like, will they be dead, or is there something that they can incorporate into?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, I think there's got to be more open spaces. There's got to be more, like, I think there's got to be more. Yeah, there's definitely got to be something. I think what's going to happen, I do honestly think there'll probably be this situation where, you know, like how the High Line is, that vegetation system, you know, there's going to be things like that growing up. I mean, we've already got rooftop farms and beekeeping. I know it sounds like all a bit, you know, like freaking sandal wearing, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's
that's going to be
stuff.
the thing. But then
natural stuff.
Yeah, totally. I mean, they're growing salad crops in an urban environment already, which you buy in Whole Foods. It's a warehouse farming, you know, and it's done on a system where it's like a wall of trays that move consistently through the day. They just go up and around. So whatever's happening is there's light, there's air, ventilation, ultraviolet, water. It's constantly moving, you know. And as it moves around, it does its time. It gets to the bottom. You've got rocket. Like you've got a salad crop. Chopped, popped in a bag. Boom. $9 Whole Foods. You're eating skunk hydroponic vegetables. Basically. So they are growing stuff. They are doing that already. And I think retail shops will probably be turned into, big box retail is dunsies. There'll just be 1 or 2 showcase shops. And then the rest of those retail spaces will be living environments, community environments. I know people like Prince Charles, for example, they bang on about what a crazy lunatic that guy is, and he's the mad one. Well, back in the 80s, he had a design concept that was all about the well-being of the community village spirit, and it was, he test ran this. He went to a council and he said, local town hall council said, well, I've got this idea. I want to make this housing estate, but I want to make it like a community. There's going to be green spaces. There's going to be local shops. There's going to be sourced local food in these shops. There's going to be growing areas for people to grow their own vegetables. There's going to be good school. There's everything you need, And they were like, nah, we're not interested.
Really?
There's no money in that. So he just bought, he's got a load of land. So he allotted his own land, built this village, and it's a success. It's a blueprint around the world now.
Really? What's the name of this village?
I don't know. Just put Prince Charles's Village in Google. It'll come up.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I think all those things, that's a permaculture. That's permaculture right there. It's a permanent culture. That's what you want. And I think a lot of people, younger people, towns and little towns and country villages and towns they're like, oh, the young people have left. They've left to the city. They've gone to the city. So what's happening is you've got these people coming in buying second homes. So they're buying granny's house up, that could have been, the younger, like the family member but he's left. He's gone to London or New York or whatever to make his fortune. Like Jack and the Beanstalk. But the golden goose all goes pear-shaped at the end. So he comes back to the farm, doesn't he? And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's Jack and the Beanstalk. People are going to come back with and start bringing all these modern weapons that they have, i.e., when I mean, like, building infrastructures, using apps, using, programmers, working remotely, but then working some of your day on the land. How much more nourished would you be as a person if you went and did 3 hours doing that and then coming back and did another 3 hours working for Google? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be much more fulfilling, wouldn't it?
It would. It almost is just based on like kind of personal experience in a big city, and then experience out like in nature and wandering and traveling. Like, I feel like for a lot of people that are in the urban experience right now, that might feel kind of far-fetched. Like, oh, I wouldn't want to go back to like a small.
Why would I want to do that?
Yeah, but it's almost like now it's shaking things up, because I'm seeing people that live in New York go to their family's countryside
upstate,
or go upstate, or get like you going out into the wilderness, and it's almost like it's rekindling a little
child spirit,
natural peace. Child, I
think.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, like, we all walk about, I don't know, it's people. There's a time where, I don't know, people would walk about in urban environments looking like they were wearing country clothes, they'd be like lumbersexuals, with a lumberjacky shirt on in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
people living a countryside existence in their but in an urban environment.
Did you call a lumber
And
a
it's okay, right?
lumbersexual?
Yeah, lumbersexual, a guy who looks like who's like a outdoorsy type, but he's hanging in the city. He's got a penknife, you know.
Yeah.
He starts his gas ring on at home with a flint and steel, you know, that dude.
Okay.
Not a hipster, but a lumbersexual. So, and then you've got the girlfriend, she's knitting, and they're like, they've got a loom, and then they make goat milk soap, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Put your fucking money where your mouth is and do it in the countryside, you know. Go do these skills. And this is what people, I'm not saying that, no, it's not like, but you know, an antagonizing sort of thing, but it's like these people with these skills that you want to learn, go and do those things properly, and let's go and do it all together, you know. Help other people, you know.
Yeah.
Make a community, you know. And it's interesting how with Corona that the money is dirty. Money's dirty, you know. It's filthy, you know. It's like that thing they used to find.
Like actually physically touching money is like a hazard.
Dirty. I mean, look at dollars. So much cash floating around in America. It's all people deal with cash tips, cash and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the residue of cocaine and God knows where else that money's been, you know, it's filthy. So it's going to be some cryptocurrency or you cut my hair and I'll give you a chicken, you know. It's like,
wow.
It's that acorn checks, you know. They're called acorn checks, where you come and paint the front of my house and I'll repair your car. Bartering system.
Checks. Do you think so? There's a lot of theories out there right now that a lot of what's going on is kind of an intentional plan to reset either the global economy or just like society in general. Do you subscribe to that?
Yeah.
You're like, what are your thoughts around that?
I know this sounds whack,
yeah,
but one, I think oil's running out. We don't have enough oil for everybody right now. And we have enough oil to work. I mean, this sounds like, when you start thinking about it, it's more, that can't be true. Can it be true? What's happening? People are buying back their oil barrels right now. So I spoke to someone today who's in the city who deals with that, with their commodities. And they were like, we're actually trying to offload our barrels to the person that we bought them from originally, you know, at the same price. So it's something quite not right there, you know. It's like, okay, electric, is it going to be the new, is it electric? Is it they're going to see cars just lying by the side of the road everywhere, like skeleton, like some Planet of the Apes thing, where just cars? Or is it the reset button, you know? I think it's the reset button. I really, honestly, I just think that it's just, yeah, I mean, I don't want to go right down there, but I just think it's so absurd. If you told yourself, like, before Christmas, you'd be told to stay indoors, you're like, fuck that shit. There's no chance, you know. Boom, you're doing it, my friend.
Yeah.
Fear is a great controller, you know, of the population.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it, you know, they do it in advertising. So it's just a bigger version. So I'm not a conspiracist of that type, but I definitely think it's a reset of some type, you know. Because how long can you go making all this money, and how long can people go, you know, doing this? They can't, you know.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. And it's
not.
Yeah, there's so many different ideas and so many different just thoughts out there with why this is happening and what's going to come of it. And yeah, it's easy to get lost. It's easy to get lost in all of it.
But at the same time, there's a lot of people in suffering. There's a lot of people
Mhm.
who are dying, you know, and
Yeah.
and you know, we can sit here and we can think about it, but at the same time, there's people fighting for their lives, you know.
Yeah.
And do they have the equipment? Who knows? You know, it's like you're seeing lots of different information. We're forced. I mean, when you've got a president who says it's fake news, oh my God, dude, you know, really,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just move over, man, you know,
Hmm.
just move over. And they're all guilty, you know, they're all guilty of it. And we listen to it, don't we? We do listen to it because we love it, because we're like, I'll let him do it, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
we moan. It's not like, I think there's definitely going to be there'll be a new mindset towards this, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what's
Who
next
knows?
for you, just in terms of your excursions, in terms of your work and your brand and your products? Like what's in the pipeline for
Adapt. That's
Natty?
what you've got to do. So funny enough, I am, as we speak, you might be aware that, so Mr. Natty, you know, my brand, stopped moving forward. And I think we're a product of our own success in a way that there would be big department stores that took it on. We went with it, and it can cripple you sometimes. And in a way, this is a microcosm of what is happening in a way now, you know, it's too big, it gets too big, and it runs away with itself, and you've got too much product, and it's not tangible anymore, and the people that are behind it aren't behind it they're behind it for the money. They're not behind it for the reason why the original day when it started. So I think, so I'm taking control of the brand again. I've taken control, so I will be doing more conscious products, more sustainable packaging, not so many products, so things that you really need in life, you know, for your grooming, definitely, and bringing in like-minded people like yourself and other people in my community and outside to be involved or talk and share, and not just about, it's not about the profit, it's just about feeding yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I feel
And I
that.
think, yeah, and I think travel is going to change. One thing, I think they'll be taking your temperature when you go through airport now. I think a lot of air travel won't be the same again, I don't think.
Yeah.
And you definitely won't be getting on a cruise ship.
Okay.
And
Mm.
so, yeah, I think so. My future for me is to like be more aware, be more compassionate, use the things that I have that are my skills to do the things for myself and for my kids,
Mhm.
instead of trying to give too many things away to other people. You
Man,
know,
that's beautiful.
trying to get it, mate, doing it.
Ah, you're doing it. You're mixing it up.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're always
Mm-hmm.
keeping everybody on their toes and
Yeah.
kind of inspiring that sense of just adventure and
Yeah.
um, uniqueness. You know, that's one thing I think about you, from your style to just your language to your experiences and travels. Like
Mm.
it's very you. It's very you.
Mm.
And I think that
And
shows.
I think you lose that, don't you? Sometimes you can lose your way because you're listening to the monkey mind, you know,
Yeah.
the monkeys. Chit chat, chat, chit chit. No, do it that way. This is the way. No, come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. I think it's like this time now, COVID. Get a trade.
learn something, open your mind up, you know, really open your mind up. You know, I think if the message to anybody would be right now is do it. Do what you have always wanted to do, but adapt to this situation now to make it happen, you know? Prepare yourself, you know, get prepared. We can all go running around, we can run and do all these workout things. And in the end, you're just going to get bored with it. So change it, keep it changing all the time, move, changing. Because you've got to keep yourself, I think you've got to keep yourself on the edge. It's like always like be prepared, like, you know, run the other way around tomorrow, run up there tomorrow and then back down and then round. You know what I mean? Do that.
All right, man, you're inspiring me. I'm gonna just go pick up and run 30 miles now.
Yeah, do it. I've got a foolproof training program. It involves ice cream
and waffles.
Oh, and Belgian waffles. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, go running, mate.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Hey, the thing is, just go. Just know that you've got get on the bus. This is what you can do. Get on a bus. Go 10 miles away. Have nothing on you, just your mobile. Yeah. And run back. You've got to get back because you've got nothing to get back. You can't call a cab. You know, go run.
Oh, man, that is brilliant advice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in my calendar.
Do that. Do
the
Natty workout. The Intrepid. But I'll keep in touch and I'll send you some pictures of my explorations this weekend when I'll go off on my bike.
Yes, please do.
Journey.
Off on your bike into the wilderness. You and your Guinness. Sleeping under
the tarpaulin.
Oh man.
Got like a sheet. Incredible. It's like about 3 meters. I fold it up. 3 by 2. Fold it up and just string it over. And then just put the bike over and use it.
You're like Survivor, man. You're gonna have your camera set up and
like
sharing all your tips and how we're surviving down here in the UK. Yeah. 2.0.
Shit in the bag.
Hey man,
right, wicked. Good to speak to you.
Yeah, so good speaking to you. Thanks for sharing your stories and advice. And,
it was fun.
So much fun. All right.
All right. Love you. Take care, mate. See you soon.
Ciao.
Bye, mate. Bye.